Nutrition is extraordinarily important to this whole thing. Exercise is one thing, but nutrition is, and I will not say it's 99% or it's 90% or it's 50%. It is no percent. You got to have all these things working together harmoniously. You got to accept it all. And you got to be able to use judgment when you're at a point, when you're at an intersection where you have a decision to make. Am I going to do this or am I going to do that? If you're really into this and we find community here and we're all liking it, you're going to more often than not pick the correct thing to do. And knowledge is power. It's very important. It helps you feel good, helps people get along well. What happens when you consume food? This is the big question. People don't understand the processes that happen in your body and how it can make you feel. I've always been really into optimizing the way I feel. I want to feel well when I'm doing what I want to do. There's nothing worse than feeling bad when you're trying to do what you enjoy doing or what your profession is. If you don't like what you're doing, at least feel good while you're doing it. And a lot of times throughout the day, you guys and myself and everyone else around us is probably 50% of what you're doing is something you didn't want to do. If it's at work, if it's at home, cleaning up poop, cleaning up puke, dealing with problems, you at least can feel good. And what makes that process break, what makes you feel poor, is when you're really not fulfilling the recommendations, the needs that your body has appropriately throughout the day, throughout the week. It can be from overexercising, it can be from undereating, it could be from overeating, it could be from lack of sleep. There's a lot of different factors, but we're going to simplify them up. What are the useful parts of food? You got protein, carbs, and fat. Now, when I say useful, I mean useful for energy. There, you got micronutrients inside of foods. Okay, those are, and you have minerals, you have vitamins. Those are the important things that you need for your body to sustain good skin, good hair, good energy, good vision, good hearing, heart, brain, lung function, all that good stuff. But when it comes to energy, you got to really understand what your protein, carbs, and fats are doing for you. Number one, I want to talk about fats. Why fats are important, why you should not be a fat-free person, and what is too much and what is not enough. So fats help hormone function. Fats help recovery. Fats give you energy. Examples of fats that are good are poly and monounsaturated fats. Those are the type of fats you're going to find in olive oil, avocados, tree nuts, items of food like that. Oils that our bodies don't really have a natural acceptance for is like rapeseed oil, peanut oil, like extracted oils, palm kernel oil, all of those different cooking oils that you wouldn't be a scavenger, 2,000 years ago and come across a palm tree and go to a palm heart and then squeeze the oil out of it and say, I'm going to cook with that. Like you would probably find some type of thing on a tree that has a really good oil base to it, like an avocado, open it up, experiment with it and be, wow, this is really good. These other extracted oils are not quite natural. We all know what an olive is like. If you squeeze it, a lot of oil comes out of it. So that's why we really want to stick with those natural foods. As far as fats go, it's very dense. So I have examples, and I'll show you, and I want to leave time at the end so you guys can kind of look up here and check it out. And I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to make like a little lunch thing. If you have more than 25 grams of fat at once, it could be more than your body can really handle all at one time. An example of what 25 grams of fat is a half of a cup of tree nuts, okay? 4 tablespoons to 5 tablespoons, and a tablespoon is pretty big, of olive oil. So if you're a salad eater and you put a lot of olive oil on your salad and it's like more than 5 tablespoons, there's a good chance that excess amount that your body can't really do anything with or metabolize for energy could be stored as fat, okay? So kind of understanding 25 there is good. Keep that in your mind. You can write that down. Carbs, you've got a lot of carbs in a lot of foods. There's carbohydrates that are more readily available for your system to absorb, like you would get from juice, products that have white sugar in it. If you get into a carbohydrate that needs to be broken down digestively, like oatmeal, even fruits like blueberries with more fiber on it, you have a slower, longer release of that sugar from the food, okay? Carbohydrates, if you're trying to lose weight, you got to be careful about eating a lot of carbs with a lot or a moderate amount of fat and protein at the same time. because your body is going to select energy sources for activity from your own fat, from the food that you're eating, or just standard metabolic processes where your body chooses to use what it wants at the certain time. Because at certain times of the day, our bodies use energy differently. So if you want to optimize body fat usage as energy, it's important to watch how much of these foods you eat at any one given 3 to 5 hour period. Carbohydrates, if you're consuming 50 grams of quick release sugar from soda or juice, grapes, things like that, that might be a bit too much. The 25 gram rule really could take good effect for you if you practice it more often than not. 25 to 40 or even 50 at the max grams of carbohydrates at once is going to be a good area for you to stay at or around. With protein, it's not essential to get massive amounts of protein at one time, and many people don't understand how much protein comes from meat in such a small volume. So as an example, 3 ounces of meat, 3 ounces of chicken breast has about 20 grams of protein. You really only need or can absorb 30 grams at one time. So if you had 30 grams of protein, 30 grams of carbs, and 20 grams of fat in one meal, you're going to get a standard amount of calories, because there's 4 calories per gram of carbs, 4 calories per gram of protein, and you got like 9 grams of calories per gram of fat. So if you kind of take 9 times 20, and then if you've got 4 times 20, 4 times 20, that's where you're going to get your calories from. You might find that if you ran that same play 4 times, 20, 20, or if you ran that 20, 30, 10, let's say, like 20 grams of protein, 30 grams of carbs, 10 grams of fat, if you ate that every single meal, do the math, put the calories together, and then you can apply it against your resting metabolic rate, which is what we get on the MyZone scale. So you've got like your weigh-in, you see a metabolic rate, resting metabolic rate of 1,300 calories a day. That's how many calories you burn per day without exercise. About 100 calories every hour is what we burn as human beings. Those calories have to be put back in. What percentage do we eat for our purpose? So if your purpose is not to lose weight, you don't really have to worry too much about that, because carbohydrates can give you energy. They do give you energy. Eating too much of them are de-energizing, because when your body has to figure out what to do with an excessive amount of macro, it stores it, and that takes energy from you, okay? The digestive process also uses energy. So eating the right amounts, allowing yourself to eat a healthy amount of carbohydrates, protein, and fat at meals is a beneficial thing for you physically and psychologically. In this life balance, we've got on mission and we've got vacation. Who here feels like there's times of the week where you're like on mission, you're focused, and then there's times of the week where you're on vacation? Vacation. Do you ever feel guilty about being on vacation? No? No, maybe guilty is not the right word. Maybe like we're addicted to progress. If you're looking for results right now, if you're looking for metabolic processes that help your body tighten up and function better and get more energy, it is helpful to spend Sunday through Friday at 5 really on mission. So if Sunday is your preparation day for Monday, because you need to think, you need to see people. Most people don't like Mondays. Most people dread Mondays. Like, so much. I'm going to come into so much. Who here feels reactive Monday morning at work? Like you're just reacting to everything. Anybody? I do. And I feel a lot better when I plan, clear-minded planning, Sunday night, feel well, I've done yard work, and I've had a light workout, and spent some time with my family, and ate well, and then I plan, and I try to go to sleep so I can wake up and feel really, really great Monday morning. That's a great way to start Monday. The reverse would be Sunday fun day, 6 beers, bad food, up too late, treating it like it's a Saturday. You're on vacation at the wrong time. It's like taking a vacation from a vacation. Yeah, so like super vacation-y, like heirs to the throne, entitled teenagers. If they don't work and they're just on dad's yacht for 3 years, they're miserable. Like they make bad decisions, start getting into drugs. They're on vacation from vacation. So when you do that, you're not really progressing, you're feeling bad, you're feeling guilty, you're struggling with yourself. So Sunday is a power day. Monday's a great day to crush it. Great Mondays make easier Tuesdays. This is really all about when we start, when we stop. Friday at 5 o'clock is when you might have an engagement, you might have a dinner, you might have a couple drinks, you might stay out later, it might be a beautiful sunset, you're at the beach, you go to Sarah's, all that good stuff. Acceptable, fine. Saturday morning, get on mission, get back to a workout, get back into the saddle, and make up for the over-taxation on the calorie intake that you had the night before. So when you take in too many calories, your body will store a lot of ATP, a lot of sugar, a lot of energy in your liver, in your muscles, in your energy system for use. If you don't use that energy, if you don't use good energy Saturday morning and Sunday morning after performing those like nutritional acts, you may have a tendency to slow your results. You may have a tendency to gain weight. And if you really start adding, if you look at Sundays, 50 plus weeks of the year, if you're adding in Sunday to that, that is a lot of hindered results. So if you really want to maximize, Sundays are helpful. Limit your time on vacation. Saturday, you might have another thing going on, 3 to 5 o'clock or starting at noon, the boats or the beach or whatever. Just let yourself have fun, do it. But Sunday morning, you got to get back into a workout or into a 60-minute beach walk to burn that stored energy. That's really what it's all about. You guys can see this eating window right here, Sunday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. That is a good time to start eating and a good time to end eating. If you take my 8 to 8 challenge, if you build a rule for yourself, I will start eating at 8, I will stop eating at 8, and I will work out as often as I can in the morning, fasted, you will lose weight. That will happen, especially if you add in proper macronutrient intake throughout the day. If you're looking to lose weight, that is the type of thing that agrees with metabolism. That agrees. When you eat too close to bedtime, your digestive system is still working. You're not using a lot of energy athletically. So if you overeat calories too close to bedtime, you're sleeping lighter. Your sleep is disrupted. You'll have more wake moments in the evening, and you may very well store fat while you're at sleep. What our bodies really want to do is use fat as energy to fulfill recovery processes while you sleep. Sleep is a really opportune time of the day to use energy from areas that you're trying to burn perhaps in a workout. The workout is a pill. The workout's a steroid. Using that pill right daily really is a super effective way to use that pill. If you take too many pills and you overdose, it tends to hurt your body. So you really want to use your workouts properly, and we're here to help you do that. I wanted to make today mostly about nutrition and the results guide. The way that you can use this plan and the way that you can use the results guide, really use that guide. I look at it 5 times a day because I take people through these seminars. I take people through this thing 5 times a day. That's what I do all day long. Inside of it, you're going to see a workout schedule. You may have went over that with Taylor already. You're going to see there's a grid, blocks. It says like Monday through Sunday, workout planning. If you want to plan your workout, it's good. People who plan their finances typically have more money than people who don't. So plan your workouts. You probably have more of them than people who don't plan their workouts. Having a good organization. Remember, iRock, Monday and Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, that's a good split. If Mondays are horrible for you, if Monday's the worst day of the week, iRock, Tuesday, Wednesday, take Thursday off, do Friday, Saturday. Here, you can take your worst day of the week off. But I tell you what, it's really important, and encourage your friends to do this too, working out on the weekends is like so absolutely beneficial to your mental state, to your long-term success in fitness, to your enjoyment. People are in a better mood here on the weekends anyway. They're not going off to work. They're going over to Starbucks. I mean, it's sunny. It's nice outside. Don't get caught up in like, oh, I'm going to take this morning off because it's so nice. Get a workout in. Because later in the day, when you're out there, hanging out with your friends and eating the wrong thing, like, at least you got your workout in the morning. You're going to get it the next day. So make that like a constant. Take a couple of days off during the week from iRock and slip in some strength training. You can write that in for yourself. You also have a grading scale on there. You kind of have days, weeks where you can rate how you're feeling, what you did. So those 3 little bubbles down in the side on that nutrition grading sheet, you can actually write down 3 new goals or 3 new rules you're implementing for yourself. It could be 8 to 8. It could be follow my macronutrient allowances. It could be start going to sleep earlier. If you fulfill all 3 of those things, you can circle yes, yes, and yes. And then you can rate, how am I feeling? Did I have less cravings? Was my mood good? Were my energy levels good? If those things are strong 4s and 5s and yeses, you're doing something right. You might find that you can compare that to how you felt before as well. That's really helpful to do. The workout planning and the nutrition rating is really helpful and important. When you're looking at the nutrition macros, so on this sheet back, and I had this on the screen, but right here in nutrition action, it says vegetables, proteins, fruits, and all that stuff. It's kind of what we went over during the results guide. If you didn't get your results guide session with Taylor, make sure you get onto that because we personalize. You can also do it with a personal trainer. You definitely want to be aware of where your resting metabolic rate is. Most women, from doing this for years, we find the resting metabolic rate, the RMR, how many calories you burn per day without exercise, is about 1,100 to 1,500 calories a day. So from that, you may burn an additional 500 calories from exercise. So most people are right around 1,800 to 2,200 calories a day burnt caloric output. It's good to put those calories back in. How we do it makes all the difference. You do need 0.7 grams per pound of your ideal body weight in protein a day. So for most of us, that might mean 60, 70, 80, 90 grams of protein per day. Remember, of your ideal body weight, your healthiest body weight, 0.7 grams per pound. So when you start looking at getting the foods that you need, you start looking at proteins, vegetables, fats, carbohydrates. You want to get like 3 or 4 servings of healthy fat a day. You want to get 3, 4, 5 servings of protein a day. Definitely want to get 2 good servings of vegetables a day, like salads or raw vegetables, things like that. Those are all things that are really helpful and important for you having the energy that you need. If you burn more calories than you put in days in a row, what does that do for us? So if you burn more than you put in. So let's say you have a deficit of 300 calories a day. You burn 1,800 calories, you put 1,500 calories in. Your body, right, so your body might pull energy from your body fat. Well, what if those 1,500 calories are from sugar? Like what if you have a high C 6 times a day, but we still have a caloric deficit? Do you think? It'll pull it from the high C. It'll pull it from the sugar because our liver can store sugar and all that inside. So like if you just take in simple sugar all day long and you exercise moderately, compared to, let's say we eat 200 calories more per day than we're actually burning. And we work out in the morning before we eat breakfast. We don't have a banana before we work out. We just kind of get into it. We just get in there, burn stored energy, maybe some stored body fat. And then we eat an avocado, we eat a small sandwich at lunch, we have, all these, foods, and we end up being 200 calories over what we burn. Would that necessarily mean that we're going to gain fat because we ate 200 calories throughout 12 hours more than we burn? So I think you guys are starting to get it. The human body is pulling for energy all the time. So it doesn't take an accumulative, and you'll never know how many calories you're truly burning a day. It's always different, okay? But if you try to stay around like 1,800 to 2,000 calories a day and you're eating well, most would agree that you're not going to have issues with gaining and losing substantial amounts of weight. What you will have from eating at or above the amount of calories you burn per day is a lot of energy. You're going to feel good. There's going to be more left over for that increased sex drive, for the better skin, for the hair, for the nails, for just better everything. You need nourishment for that. So if you're always trying to stay low, your body is going to keep shrinking. It's going to start passing up on those processes that it really needs energy for to handle the main ones, like just helping your heart beat. So really allow yourself to get out of the corner and into the center of the ring where you have control. You can eat the foods that you enjoy. You just really have to find balance in your macros. And kind of the little thing that I gave you today, it's not rocket science. It's just knowing how much is too much, and I think know how much is too little. Personal training is like $40 for a 30-minute session. We're going to be doing small group strength too. But if you want to get a trainer and you're spending $12 a day at Tim Hortons, this is how you solve it, okay? Tomatoes, if anyone's allergic to cheese or tomatoes, I'm sorry. Feta cheese, throw it in there. olive oil, do your 5 tablespoons. Right here, just dribble it on, okay? It's about 5. Cool. All right, so you got this. But this is like $1.25 right here. So like if you're spending 10, 12 bucks at lunch, you're getting one of those Tim Hortons, like, you know, wraps, or if you're getting a wrap at Country Fair or Giant Eagle, $8 for a wrap. I mean, for one of those crappy wraps, it's $8. This is so much cheaper. Do this or make your own thing at home. This is like a Mediterranean lunch. This is going to hook you up with healthy fat, about 10 grams of protein, and then you've got like the tomatoes, you got some fiber, you got some hydration. It's just like a really good way. If you're eating this at noon and you're done at work at 4, like that's good. You should be hungry at 4. Like when you're done with work, like you should need something, so you're going to want to eat again at 4, and then maybe have dinner in the evening time. But this is a great way. Try this out once or twice this week. See if you feel better after eating this compared to like eating a wrap with the dressings and all that stuff. If you're trying to do simple things right now to change the game, just like maybe take the cream or sugar out of your coffee. Stop eating after 8 o'clock. Try not to eat a lot of carbohydrates at dinner when you're at rest. Eat carbohydrates when it becomes more important, like middle of the day when you need the energy. You can have more of your carbs after your workout and middle of the day, and then start to wean those carbohydrates down as your activity levels go down. If you're not exercising and you're sitting on an airplane all day, or you're taking a 10-hour trip, like you don't need a lot of food. You should change your nutrition per your activity level. One thing that shouldn't change though is the daily protein. Make sure that you always keep your protein at that 0.7 grams per pound. That's really, really important to do. When you're less active, you don't need as much carbohydrates. And those are some things that have been really, really helping our members. So